I do want to talk about another problem our country is facing, a serious problem. Yes, you presented at the SAG Award and were criticized for how you were treated. What would you think if you learned that Susan Sarandon is a beautiful actress known for her captivating roles, who had a love life full of freedom and complexity and caused a stir by publicly revealing her sexual orientation? That is Susan Sarandon. Not only is she an amazing actress who has won many awards, she has won many awards, including the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, and is a strong and determined woman who fights for social and political causes like environmental protection and human rights. Despite her complicated early life, Susan Sarandon continues to write an interesting life story that keeps people interested. She was born on October 4, 1946, in Manhattan, New York, to a large family with 9 siblings. She is the oldest of 4 children and has 4 brothers named Philip Jr., Tim, and O'Brien, and 4 sisters named Meredith, Bonnie, Amanda, and Missy. Her father, Philip Leslie Timeline, was a nightclub singer in the big band era and later became an advertising executive. Her mother, Lenora Marie Cristino, was a homemaker with Italian and Sicilian roots on her father's side. Susan also had English, Irish, Welsh, and German ancestry. She grew up in a big family and spent most of her childhood in Matan, New Jersey, where she went to Edison High School and graduated in 1964. Susan chose to go to the Catholic University of America in Washington, D.C., but she had no plans to become an actress. While she was there, she took acting classes, but she didn't think they would have any effect on her future career. Susan's family had a difficult history. Her mother was abandoned when she was 2 years old and raised by nuns, and she went through a lot of hard times. Her grandmother gave birth to Susan when she was 14 and then disappeared without a trace, leaving behind emotional scars that hurt the whole family. Despite these problems, Susan always felt loved. As the oldest sibling, Susan learned early on how to be career independent. Before she found her calling in acting, she worked many jobs to make ends meet, including cutting hair, waiting tables, cleaning hospital bedpans, working at a switchboard, and cleaning apartments. At one point, she made the shocking decision to turn down a ballet scholarship at the Boston Conservatory of Dance, choosing not to pursue a career in dance, but to explore other artistic avenues. Even though she came from a big family, this did not affect her decision. Susan Sarandon's parents divorced after 40 years of marriage in 1982, which was a big emotional shock for her and her family. This event was part of her journey toward personal growth, helping her reevaluate family relationships and her own life. As a child, Susan Sarandon had naturally blonde hair, which suited the style of the time. She overcame her difficult family background step by step, becoming a Hollywood star and a powerful societal and human rights advocate, leaving a lasting legacy. In 1970, when she was a lost student at the Catholic University of America, she got a part in the movie Joe, which was a relatively unknown production that would unexpectedly start her movie career. The movie didn't do well at the box office, but it was the start of one of the most amazing careers in Hollywood history. Next, Oasis, but the project was never finished and was canceled in the middle of production, leaving Susan with little more than a vague memory of her early career. This setback was a big one for someone who was just starting out in the movie business, but Susan used it as motivation to keep going. After Joe, she had many small parts in movies and TV shows. These parts didn't make her famous right away, but they did help her gain confidence and popularity. Eventually, she started getting major parts in movies like The Hunger In 1983, Susan played Janet in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, which became a cultural landmark, especially for the LGBTIQQ+ community. When Susan took on the role of Janet in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, she had no idea that it would become a lasting symbol not only in the film industry but also in pop culture. This was especially surprising given the film's lukewarm reception when it came out. Through these early roles that were hard to get, Susan Sarandon made a solid foothold in the film industry. The difficulties she faced in her early years became a driving force that propelled her to a level of success that few could have imagined. Susan Sarandon is not just an actress, she is a cultural icon. The Rocky Horror Picture Show cultural icon 1975 was a turning point in her career when she played Janet. Susan had never sung before and was very worried about her ability to perform, but this vulnerability made her performance so unique. The innocent girl who was drawn into a strange and unclear world became a symbol for both her beauty and her refusal to follow traditional gender and sexuality norms. While the Rocky Horror Picture Show didn't become a big hit right away, it quickly became a cultural phenomenon within the LGBTQ+ community and a landmark in challenging how society sees these issues. From that point on, Susan Sarandon was more than just an actress. She was a part of a larger cultural revolution. 1995 was the biggest year in Susan Sarandon's career. In the movie Dead Man Walking, Susan's performance as Sister Helen Preon took her acting to a whole new level. She gave a masterful performance that captured the complexity of her character's feelings, convincing the world of her immense talent. Winning the Academy Award for Best Actress was the ultimate recognition of her hard work and contributions. This role not only showed off her acting skills, but it also showed her strong political and social beliefs, as the movie dealt with important issues like abortion and ethics. Thelma and Louise, 1991, Lorenzo's Oil, 1992, and Stepmom, 1998, were all different parts of Susan's career. In Thelma and Louise, she played a strong character who defied societal norms and stood up for freedom. This was a theme she passionately championed throughout her career. Lorenzo's Oil was a touching story of maternal love and the strength of belief, and Stepmom showed how versatile she is by having her play a stepmother who dealt with emotional and familial problems with resilience and warmth. What makes Susan stand out is her ability to bring depth and variety to her roles. In comedies, dramas, and family movies, Susan Sarandon not only plays psychologically complex characters but also makes them funny and relatable. For example, in Stepmom, Susan not only showed how strong a stepmother can be, but also how hard and complicated family relationships can be. In every movie, she finds a new way to bring her characters to life. While Susan Sarandon's acting career took off, her personal life was full of problems. Her first marriage to Chris Sarandon in 1967 started under a lot of stress. The two met at the Catholic University of America, where family and societal norms closely watched over love and relationships. In the 1960s, society had strict rules about love and marriage, and many young couples thought that getting married was inevitable. Susan later said that if she had the choice, she would not have married Chris. She said that the decision was less about love and more about outside pressures. We got married just to avoid being kicked out of school because we were students with no freedom. She once thought about her first marriage and how it wasn't a choice that came from the heart, but rather one that was heavily influenced by family and societal expectations, leaving little room for personal desires. The relationship eventually showed itself to be unprepared and lacking the maturity needed to handle life's challenges. Their union, which was based on a sense of security and societal obligation rather than genuine love, struggled under mounting conflicts and differences, which led to their divorce in 1979, after 12 years of marriage. This marriage proved to be a turning point in her life. When Susan had this experience, she learned that big decisions in life, like marriage, shouldn't be based on what other people think or what your family expects of you. Instead, they should come from a deep understanding of yourself and your feelings. She also learned that relationships that start for reasons other than love often end in pain and regret. After this, Susan decided to make her own way in search of real love and happiness without any societal or familial rules getting in the way. In the mid-1970s, she lived with director Louis Moel from 1977 to 1980 and had short relationships with musician David Bowie and actor Sean Penn. But it wasn't until the mid-1980 that she met Italian filmmaker Franco Amuri that she had her most important and long-lasting relationship. They started dating in 1984 after meeting on the set of Tempest, and their relationship grew when Susan went back to Italy in 1987 to film Mussolini and I. Susan and Franco had a daughter named Ava Amuri on March 15, 1985, but their relationship ended because of different personal issues, and career priorities being the main reasons they broke up during their time together. Susan's career was reaching new heights with major films and artistic projects, which may have caused tensions and distance between them. Franco Amuri, as a director, also had his own demands that made it hard for the couple to find harmony in their personal lives. Another possible reason for the breakup was that their life goals changed. Susan's changing views and career advancements may have caused her to see the relationship with Franco in a different light. Even after they broke up, Susan and Franco stayed friends and co-parented their daughter Ava with mutual respect and responsibility. This long-lasting friendship showed how committed they both were to family, despite their differences. While Susan Sarandon's previous relationships were important, it was Tim Robbins who became her longest-standing partner. They met while filming Bull Durham in 1981 and 88 and were together for 23 years, having two sons, Jack Henry in 1989 and Miles was born in 1992, and the couple was thought to have had one of the strongest and longest-lasting relationships in Hollywood. They both had liberal political views and were former Catholics. However, their relationship ended suddenly in 2009, mostly because of changes in Susan's life and career, especially after her role in the play Exit the King. Playing a character who was facing death made Susan think deeply about many parts of her life, including her relationship with Tim Robbins, and she and Tim felt like their lives were becoming less aligned. Changing ideas about herself and their relationship led to their breakup. There were rumors that Susan left Tim for a younger man, but she denied them, saying that the most important thing in love was real connection, not age. It's interesting that Susan told her family about the breakup just one day before the news went public. In the summer of 2009, after her breakup with Tim, Susan quickly started dating Jonathan Bricking, who was the son of Malcolm Brickland. Together, they co-founded Spin, a chain of ping-pong lounges with locations in New York and Toronto. But this relationship also ended in 2015, adding another twist to Susan Sarandon's eventful love life. Susan's changing relationships show her search for real and deep connections, always going against societal norms and expectations. Outside of her relationships, Susan Sarandon's life has been full of surprising and interesting stories. In the 2000s, she wrote a book called Unexpected Anecdotes. She got a lot of attention when she used the Freedom of Information Act to get her FBI records and said that the U.S. government had been listening in on her phone calls. She has never been afraid to share shocking personal details, like her battle with endometriosis. Doctors once told her that she would have to have surgery if she wanted children, but she got pregnant for the first time at age 37, which was against all odds. In a 2014 interview with Chelsea Handler, Susan joked that she had not used birth control for years because Franco Amore hit. They hit the jackpot when they had their daughter Ava. Susan has also been in trouble with the media. In December 2001, the New York Post reported on an alleged party at her home which caused a public uproar. As a result, Susan refused to do interviews with the paper. She was also arrested for disorderly conduct during a protest in New York against the killing of Amadou Diop by 4 police officers. Susan is known for being outspoken and has never been afraid to say what she thinks about social issues. Not only does the public criticize her, but her children have said they don't like her. Susan said that her sons Jack Henry and Miles often found it hard and upsetting to watch her in emotional or intimate scenes. They especially didn't like seeing her in romantic or death scenes in movies. For example, her eldest son reportedly felt upset and uncomfortable while watching Bull Durham in Fluid Sexuality, in which Susan's character has a romantic relationship. Despite these feelings, Susan's children still love and respect her very much. What got a lot of attention was Susan Sarandon's groundbreaking 2015 statement about her fluid sexuality. During the interview, she said that gender wasn't important to her. What mattered was the real connection between two people. It doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, she said. What matters is the connection between real humans. This statement shocked the public and gained a lot of support in the LGBTQ+ community, making her a symbol of freedom and boundary-breaking relationships. It was a bold statement that challenged societal norms and said love doesn't have to follow strict rules. She is not only a talented actress but also a woman with strong beliefs who is not afraid to face challenges and criticism to defend the values she holds dear. Susan Sarandon is not only a Hollywood star, but a cultural icon whose influence goes deep. Her roles go beyond mere displays of acting talent, breaking boundaries and paving the way for new perspectives on gender freedom and human rights on Thelma and Louise, 1991, a film that not only changed views on feminism, but also became a groundbreaking work in challenging societal norms. Similarly, Susan Sarandon became a symbol in the LGBTQ+ community for her supporting role in the Rocky Horror Picture Show in 1975. The movie became a cultural phenomenon that inspired a generation to fight for freedom and acceptance. Beyond her acting career, Susan Sarandon has been a tireless advocate for social and political causes. She is an activist who is always ready to stand up for things like human rights, environmental protection, and anti-war movements. Her dedication goes beyond her acting career. It's clear from her hands-on work, like the time she went to Nicaragua in 1984 to help poor mothers with the help of the Madre organization. This shows that she's more than just a celebrity. She genuinely cares and acts on humanitarian values. She has also been a strong supporter of underrepresented groups, especially the LGBTQ+ community, where she has been a vocal ally advocating for change through her roles and her strong public statements. Susan Sarandon's influence is undeniable in every project she works on. Raises awareness about important issues in society through brave performances and the actions of a woman who isn't afraid to speak out for justice. She has helped change how we think about important issues like feminism, sexual freedom, and human rights, inspiring generations of artists and activists. Her legacy is built not only on her independent life and iconic films, but also as a powerful source of inspiration for people who believe in change and the potential for a positive impact on society. After many relationships, Susan Sarandon now lives alone and spends her time. Even though she's not actively looking for a new relationship, she's still open to the idea of falling in love again and hopes to find a partner in the future. It's interesting that her life now revolves not only around enjoying family moments, but also on embracing freedom and seeking genuine connections. Susan continues to live a net worth free, spirited life, unbound by age or societal expectations for her. The meaning of life lies not in age or appearances, but in being open to new experiences and having a flexible approach to love sets Susan Sarandon apart. She has had a successful career and is now estimated to be worth $55 million. Her wealth comes from acting as well as the many film and TV projects she has been in. She earned big paychecks for major movies like $5 million for The Client, $4 million for Lorenzo's Oil, and $2 million for Horizon Dancer. Her financial success shows what she has accomplished, not how much money she has. As an actress who has chosen roles that have a big impact, Susan Sarandon lives a fancy life that includes expensive trips and a deep appreciation for art and cultural activities. She actively participates in cultural and artistic events, showing how much she loves these subjects. Outside of her career and way of life, Susan is very involved in charitable and social activities. She spends a lot of time with her family, especially her children and grandchildren, while also making important. As a dedicated mother, grandmother, and advocate, she continues to be a role model of dedication both to her craft and to the social values she holds dear. Susan Sarandon is more than just a Hollywood star. She is a powerful symbol of independence and unwavering dedication. Her unforgettable performance in Thelma and Louise and Dead Man Walking has left an indelible mark on audiences, but what really sets her apart is not just her acting talent, but her unwavering commitment to social values. She bravely fought for human rights, justice, and freedom, breaking down gender stereotypes and speaking out on touchy social issues. Her legacy will be remembered not only through her awards and roles, but also through the deep impact she had on future generations. We want to hear your thoughts on Susan Sarandon's life and career. Which of her roles impressed you the most, and which of her life stories touched you the most? Don't forget to click like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on more interesting stories like this one. Please share your thoughts in the area below, as your participation is what keeps these stories going. Alive, we'll see you in the next video.